that because of the chicken wire, they're getting a little bit squished. So I will have to sacrifice one of them. So it's gonna be the lower one. So I'm gonna take this one, and then I'm gonna place them again inside. So I have this beautiful line of spray Guavara roses coming from here to the other side. And I'm gonna take it even further out, and I'm gonna add one more here. And I'm gonna use this one because it has such a graceful stem. So I'm gonna cut this one and add this one all the way out. Like this. Okay, so the next step is to start adding some movement, you know, some of these very kind of, I don't know, graceful stems. And summer is the best time of the year to do that. I mean, some ranunculus are beautiful, but they sometimes have fatty stems and they are not as beautiful as this one. But look at this stem, it's just so graceful and it has already really beautiful curves. I love using summer flowers for movement. I think they are the best. I'm looking for the right color. So, can you see how amazing this color is? This is, I think, the sherbet lemonade or the lemonade peach variety. I can't remember, but you can find this one in Flores. And cosmos are easy to grow. They just need full sun and they are happy, happy. So, I'm gonna add another layer of color and I'm gonna show you how it's just so easy when you have these flowers, you know? They have the perfect curve. And I'm gonna try to add this one with the two. If I can't, I'm gonna divide them and I'm gonna choose which one is gonna be the higher and the lower. I really like the curve of this one. So I'm gonna try, and if I can't, I'm gonna divide them and then place them separately. But I think it's gonna work. So that's it. So again, what you're trying to do is to create a line. If I was going to photograph this arrangement, I would definitely separate this one. Because in photography, they will look even, you know, the distance between them will not look as flattering as if I cut them. I'll show you what I mean. You have to make your shapes more dramatic when you're working for photography. And then this one, I'm gonna place it lower so that the distance between them, it's more and it looks more flattering. Okay, so what's next? I wanna add some of these zinnias. Again, what happens in summer is that you have so much texture in the flowers. And it's very exciting for me because this is the first year I ever grown celosia. And I just think it's so beautiful. And I'm gonna use this one too, and this amazing and beautiful calendula. I just really love the colors. You see, with summer flowers, you never get bored. But one thing that I want to show you is that by adding this color palette, I'm making the color palette stronger and bolder. I want you to always think about adding that flower that will give power to your arrangement. And if I didn't add them, I want you to see if I just added this color. It will be really beautiful, it will be softer, it will be calmer, but I think you can add this moment of, you know, like power and a little bit more strength to your arrangement. So I'm gonna add my zinnias. And again, I wanna group them. You don't wanna splash them everywhere. So I'm not gonna do like a polka dot dress, you know, like everywhere. I'm gonna group them. And when I place them, I'm gonna do something like this. You know, just different layers, different levels, from one side of the arrangement to the other side of my arrangement. So I'm gonna start with this one, coming all the way from here. I'll show you in a second. And then I'm gonna add one more lower. You always wanna come in and out. Always measure your flowers before you cut them, because sometimes you cut them too much. And when you grow a garden, sometimes you just have one or two that are very precious. So try to measure them before you cut them. And I'm gonna show you how it looks. And then I'm gonna add 2 more in the other side and then 1 in the center. So I'm gonna add this one. I'm gonna place it somewhere here, looking down. And then I'm gonna add another one behind. Okay, has to be a little bit lower here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how it looks. Okay, and then the last one, I'm just gonna add it in the center so that I can join this, again, this river of color from one side of my arrangement to the other side of my arrangement. So I'm gonna take my zinnia and really go a little bit lower so that each one of them have their own space to breathe. And when I do that, my spray roses and my zinnias, they look in the same level. So I wanna make sure that each one of them have their own space to breathe. So I'm gonna place this one a little bit lower. And if I need to cut it, I'll cut it, but I think it's gonna work. Now let's add some of these small babies. I really like them. And I'm gonna step back and look, where will they look the best? And for some reason, I hope you agree with me, they look really beautiful growing from here to here, better than if they were growing from here to there. There's something about adding these together that gives a lot of texture to my arrangement, and I really like that. So again, you wanna make sure that you group them, and maybe you place 2 or 3 here, and maybe you place another 2 or 3 here, but always group them. The effect of a flower together is stronger if they are grouped together. I think I really like them how they look like that. So maybe I just have these ones on one side, and in the other side, I decide to put my calendula together. So you don't have to have exactly the same flowers here and in the other side, but sometimes you really want to create this, guide the eye of the person who's gonna look to your arrangement from one side of your arrangement to the other one. So I'm gonna place these ones, and as a little group of flowers, I'm gonna go and place 1. And this is the magic of summer. You have so many beautiful varieties and texture, and your arrangements look just full of life. Needs to be shorter, so I'm gonna cut this one here and place it here. This one a little bit to the side. I'll show you how it looks, okay? And maybe 1 lost in the other side. Just like an echo of this in the other side of my arrangement. So I still have my calendula that I really love, and this is one of the moments that I was waiting for. Look how beautiful this foliage is. Believe it or not, these are the leaves of chocolate lace. When you stress your chocolate lace a little bit, when it's getting drier, the colors of the leaves just turn into these amazing different shades. And I found this one yesterday, and I thought, like, oh my God, I have to use them. So sometimes what inspires you to create a color palette is not a flower, but it's a leaf, it's a foliage. So I'm gonna make sure that whenever I place this one, I can really look at this, because the shade is just so beautiful. So I'm gonna come and place this one somewhere here to have this texture coming. And sometimes I want something and I'm just really stubborn and I want to have it, even if it looks good or not. I just really wanna have it because I love the color. So I think this is gonna look great. I just need to get rid of these lower leaves again. And I'm gonna place this one here, coming out, so that I can see this shade of color. And I'm gonna add the other one, looking to the other side. maybe closer to these dahlias. And for me, this is just really beautiful. So, calendulas. I can't remember the name of this variety, but they are just so beautiful. And I don't want to split them in two because I think the stem would be very short. I will try to place them together. I'm not so sure it's going to work, but I will give it a try. And then I could have one look into the other side, one look into this side, and the other one look into the other side. So I'm just going to try to do it. I hope it works. I think it's going to be fine. I just need to find the right place in the chicken wire, and I have to make sure that they are drinking. So I think it's here. I'm just going to lift this Duranta, and maybe she can come and live higher there. So this is what you're looking for in an arrangement. You want graceful movement. So we're looking to have movement from here, but also from here, and also from here. So remember what we talked about the tape. Imagine if I had my tape here, it would be hard for me to hide it now. So it's nice to have your tapes on the side of your vessel. So I'm gonna add these two more calendulas, and we're almost finished, but we have to work the neck of our arrangement and also cover all the mechanics, again, using our filler, that in this case is this beautiful yarrow. So I add these two, and they just look very beautiful. And okay, I need to add, I never know when to stop. I think that is the problem of every florist, especially when you have too many beautiful blooms. So this is one of the only dahlias that we grow from seed. It's called the Sunny Reggae. This was my first dahlia that I ever grown in this garden. And I just really like the colors, but I like that the flower it's kind of small, but it also has this open heart that for me is very beautiful. And I love the curves. Look at this. It's just so nice. So I'm gonna add two of these ones coming out here. I'm gonna explain you why. I want you to see from the side this arrangement. And I really like how this one is coming in, but suddenly it's quite flat here. So you wanna come in and then you wanna come out again. So by adding this one, I'm gonna have that beautiful effect of having something growing here to the other side. So I'm gonna come here, and can you see and this is exactly what I'm looking for. Can you see this curve here? So it's not flat anymore here. So I want you to notice how important was not to fill the arrangement with the bed or with foliage, so that when we add our flowers, we have enough space to place them and give each one of them their own space to breathe. So let's pretend this arrangement is going to go for a round table. So I have these amazing lisianthus. I think in Mexico is the only place I've seen them grow as beautiful as this one. It's just incredible. I've seen them in different places, but how big they are in Mexico is just incredible. And these ones are also by a local grower. So I'm gonna pretend I'm using this arrangement for a round table. So I'm gonna place this flower here so that I can have something covering that area. And then I'm gonna add a few more growing from here, okay? So I'm gonna place them and then I'll show you. I'm gonna divide these ones in two so that I can place one a little bit deeper and then the other one coming out a little bit more. I think it has to be lower. And imagine me doing that with a chicken wire that is very messy and very heavy. So again, the reason to make your chicken wire really clean is that you want to be able to pull in and out your stems without stressing your flowers. So I think that's fine. I'm gonna add the other one that I have here next to them. So I'm just gonna come here, and that's how it would work if I was going to place this one in a round table. And I'm gonna do the same in the other side. I wanna show you something about Lisianthus. I don't think I have one here that is closed. Yes, here. I'll show you. When you buy your Lisianthus, they look completely closed like that. And Lisianthus are one of these flowers that really allows you to open them. So I want you to see, I'm gonna come here so that you can see how incredible and flexible the petals of our Lisianthus are. They really allow you to touch them, to open them, until you get to this moment that is just incredibly beautiful. So don't be afraid of opening your Lisianthus. They are really happy with you touching them. So I'm gonna place this one. Again here, pretending this arrangement was on a round table. And it's gonna really dress this corner. So I'm gonna take it out, do it again. I want it to look softer, so I'm gonna divide them and place them again lower. I think that looks better, and maybe I just need two. Okay? So we're almost finished. One of the things that I want you to always make sure is that you don't forget the neck of your vessel. That means that you don't want the edge of your vessel to look naked. So for that, it's kind of nice to have leaves or vines or something that will really dress what I call the neck. So I have this beautiful lemony color leaf that I think it's also going to make, can you see how beautiful the color combination of this is? So I'm gonna add this one here to dress a little bit the neck of my arrangement. And again, how pretty is that? Sometimes when you don't have access to really beautiful foliage, you can visit a nursery. I love buying ferns. I think ferns are really beautiful and textural. And this fern is supposed to live in the shade, but I place it in the sun so that I stress the leaf a little bit, so it becomes a little bit more yellow, and I really like this tone. So I'm gonna add, I cut that one from here, and I'm gonna add this one on the other side of my arrangement to dress the neck, and I'll show it to you. And I think this moment is beautiful. Okay, few details here and there. I said I was going to use celosia, and I really want to use this one. And I'm going to use few honeysuckles just to make this look even more delicious. So I'm going to add this honeysuckle just here, also to give another extra high point here, you know. And what do you want with summer arrangements is that they look like a garden. They look like, you know, something that has a lot of little moments that you could stare at. So I'm gonna add this beautiful celosia. And it's just adding texture and texture and texture. Last thing that you have to do, and for this, I'm gonna recommend you that you take your arrangement and you place it in the table. I've been designing here because if I was doing it down here, I would be focusing very much on the high and I wouldn't be able to see how it's going to look. But there is a point where you have to look at your arrangement in the table so that you can see how this is going to look and how it's going to connect to the other elements that you're going to place on the table. So I really want to show you something. I really love how this bougainvillea comes and almost touch the table, because then if I add some fruit here or other elements or even a candle, it will really dress this moment. And the most important thing about placing this down here is that I can come and add again a little bit of yarrow and cover the mechanics, because I still can see some of the chicken wire. So I'm cutting these pieces of yarrow, and I'm gonna go wherever I see a hole in my arrangement, I'm gonna cover the mechanics with these pieces of yarrow. So can you see it's the other way around? Is you don't start by filling your arrangement with loads of foliage. You start by creating a bed, and then you can come back and cover the mechanics. But this way you will never have an arrangement that looks too tight. It will always look soft and very effortless. So I'm almost finished. I think there is a hole here. And remember, the day after, it's very likely that flowers will move, and you can come and add a little bit more of yarrow. So I love the curve that this arrangement has here. So I want to make this part a little bit more dramatic too by adding maybe something here. And I like adding things that will connect a little bit more even in the table. So one option could be this one, this type of jasmine that I really like, and it goes really well with the white side. The other is adding a little bit more of this cosmos. And I think I'm gonna go for color, because I can imagine adding in this table maybe some peaches, maybe some golden berries, even pears. So I think if I go for color, it will be nicer with whatever I add. So I'm gonna show you. How this looks, and I'm gonna do the same here, and then we are about to be done. I mean, the truth is that I could fuss forever, because I always find things or little things that I can correct, but I think this is going to be it. I'm gonna add a few pieces of yarrow inside it because I saw another hole. So just this looks really pretty. I'll show you in a second. I want you to see how beautiful would be this with some kind of fruit inside of my arrangement. And I just need a few pieces of yarrow there. And we're done. So let me add this yarrow. I clean a little bit around you so that you can see. And we are about to finish. 1, 2. There's one tiny hole there. You can use this little piece in here. You know, I think it's equally beautiful from both sides. Sometimes you make an arrangement and you like one side better than the other one, but I really like both sides. Finish covering all the mechanics with a little bit of yarrow, but I'm really happy how it looks. It's very summery. It has a lot of texture and color. I just really love it. So always remember, when you go to the flower market, if you have a garden, what you need to make a centerpiece is find really nice curvy stems that will give you the shape of your arrangement. Find beautiful fillers like yarrow, but remember it can be any flower that will create that bed. Your focal flowers, medium flowers that will create the color palette in your arrangement softer, and flowers that have a lot of movement. Flowers with just like soft and delicate stems that allows you to have these moments of, you know, very graceful movement. So I'm really happy how it looks. I think it looks beautiful and textural. So I'm very happy you came to see my class. Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to see you in the next one.